Sophie, it's lovely to come and see your garden. Obviously, I've admired all your wonderful products. This is one of my favourites. I love this. What do you call this range?
It's called Homegrown.
Homegrown, and it's so beautiful. I have it and use it daily.
Lovely to hear.
I knew this garden before you bought it. I helped the previous owners with it, and to come back and see how you've put your feel over it is just amazing. Obviously, you're much younger generation, lots of children, dogs, very different from the elderly couple that had it before, who were also very keen gardeners. But I just think it's stunning what you've done.
Oh, thank you, Bunny. I was a little bit nervous about you coming today because we have spent 5 years changing and tweaking, I guess, to suit our boisterous boys.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope you like what we've done.
No, I think it's stunning, and I think this. I'm just trying to remember which bits I did, but I do remember the olive trees, I think, and they have done so well. And
really
it's sort of a bit of an aide memoire of me that I should use more olive trees. Obviously with the Zitella, I think it is, that olives get. Ash is the Chilara. It's a bit of a problem because people can't import them at the moment, but they are wonderful, aren't they? They're just such a beautiful natural canopy.
They are. We love sitting under these olive trees any time of the day and night. Actually,
yes.
Even going into the evening is probably even more special because we've got these lights, and then get the candles on the table. It's really quite special. Even they act as a canopy, not just for the sun, but rain. You can still sit underneath. There's been quite a bit of rain this year,
yes.
But yeah, they're very special.
No, they are wonderful. And I think people should use them more, really, because of that. People always want evergreens, don't they?
Yeah.
And they will take any amount of topiary. They'll grow in any conditions. You see them growing between rocks with virtually no soil at all, and they grow pretty fast. Yeah. So they've got a lot going for them.
Yeah,
definitely.
They're great. And we've added, so we've got 4 here, but we've added a few more, so it ties in this part of the garden. Which is lovely. You get nesting birds as well in the trees.
Birds nesting in the olives.
Yes.
You put in this pool area, which I think works superbly. And the Gower is a treasure, isn't it? And it goes on and on and on, doesn't it? From May, do you find?
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
through to the frost, if we get the frost. Yeah. I do find I lose about 10-20%, even though I'm free draining each year.
Okay.
But it grows so fast from cuttings, it's very easy to replace. And I love your use. I've always used lots of balls, and they add structure.
Yeah, they do. And these balls were in the garden before, so we've just moved them. And so it's lovely to.
So they might have been my balls.
Yes, I think they probably were, Bunny.
And the hedges, I remember the previous owners didn't like you because it was too dark. So a lot of the hedges was the beech. And it can be awkward to establish sometimes, but if it's at a small size, and he brought it down from Scotland because he wanted it to have very tough provenance. But I find they do take time to fill out beech hedges, and you, I think, are almost as fast. But they are lovely. I do love beech.
Yes, I do, and I love how it changes in the seasons, and the colours.
Yeah.
And then it keeps its leaves, even though they're brown, and then they sort of
keep on, exactly. So they are, and then as the new bright limey green leaves come through in the spring, they push off the old, don't they? When they're trees, they do drop their leaves, but when they're hedges, they keep them. It's one of those strange things, and so you do get privacy from a beech hedge, although some people complain, but you shouldn't really have to. And these are some of your items. So there's a lovely throw here that you do.
Yes.
Which are really nice, aren't they?
Yeah, it's
very
a green herringbone, which is lovely. I just love having lots of throws over chairs. It just makes it more of a room in the garden.
The indoor-outdoor.
Yes, absolutely. And then obviously gets quite cool in the evening, so always handy to have. It's just lovely sitting outside in the evenings.
Yes, no, definitely. And I see your bee design. I haven't seen that Because the bee was your first successful design.
It was. Little did we know when it was our very first fabric design back in 2007, and then we've just sort of grown from that bee design and put onto different products.
So you didn't have a bee mug before the bee fabric? It was
We
first.
did. We did.
I was going to say, because I
yeah.
remember your bee mug.
Yes, we did.
For way. When did you
Yeah.
When did you do your first bee mug?
So gosh, that would be even before my brother joined the business. We did bee china.
Right.
I did it through another company, and so they produced them, and I got a royalty from that. So that was sort of a, ooh, hang on a minute. Well, we saw that they sold very well, and we thought, let's do it ourselves. So yeah, the bee. Well, little did we know what we had hit on, and I can see a bee on the lavender over there. You feel so honoured seeing all the bees and insects coming into your garden. Sort of
Lavender. Your lavender's flowering very late. So do you know which lavender that is?
I think it's Hibcut.
Is it? So my Hibcut's already over.
I think maybe because it's fairly new.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yes.
But it's I think also, I mean, it's grown a lot because it was very small, and it's been in flower for a long time.
It is a wonderful plant. I think. I always remember when we used lavender at a garden at Chelsea. You have the build-up period, and the whole place is dusty and JCBs and Manitous and mud. And then the guy bought the lavender, and he opened the transit van's doors, and out came, sort of, 150 lavender plants in full flower. And within 5 seconds, bees.
Wow.
And you just thought, how do they know that we had this lavender here? And they, found out about it so fast. So much so that a school that was visiting in build-up to show them how it all works, the teacher said, take them away, it's dangerous, too many bees.
Oh dear, oh my word.
Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it? But the basic compartments of the garden are as they were in a way, are they? I seem to remember. It must have been 25 years ago I did this, I can't remember.
Gosh,
yes.
where does the time go? I think we've just taken out one new hedge, purely because having 3 young boys, they wanted to play cricket and rugby, and they needed a space. So I've done. So we did that, and I tried to grow a bit of long grass, but that soon got scalped by
the boys.
Yeah, by the boys, so they could mow themselves a cricket pitch. So it's just sort of balancing. A beautiful garden, and I want the boys to be able to charge around and have some
At
space.
the end of the day, it's usually the children that use the garden the most, the hours of time, and I do think it is just such a great space for them, and you have to. My first book was Family Gardens, so it was all about making it for children and adults, and I do think that's really, really important. I don't think you can be precious.
No.
And I think the more you live in the garden, the better.
Yeah.
And you change it, don't you?
Yeah.
As your life goes on, your needs change massively.
I am a little bit precious when they've got a cricket bat and they're swinging a cricket ball. It's just not near the house, just that way. Yeah. It's lovely seeing them charging around in the garden.
And for them to have the space is divine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you show me the pool that we put in, the little ornamental pool?
Yeah,
I'd love to see how
course.
that's fared.
Of course.
I remember putting this pool in whenever it was, 25 years ago, or whatever, for the previous people. But it's interesting, isn't it? I see you've rung the changes by bringing in the hares. You put the hares in the middle. They're beautiful. So that's one of your items.
It certainly is. Yes, we sell our boxing hares in our shops and online. Because we did a boxing hares design many years ago. So it was just to work with with
So
that.
they're
And
on a fabric, the boxing
yes,
hairs?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
right. I must look out for that. I love boxing hairs. I think they look so beautiful always. So they are a different pair, aren't they?
Yes, they
so
are. They're different.
Yes, they're
And
not identical.
no, and
But they're not joined.
no,
So
they're
you
not.
can put them in any way you like.
Yeah.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love how the sun, the evening sun, kind of shines on them. You can
Yes.
see them from the kitchen, which is really magical.
The two things I remember about this was one was we had just recently done the Chelsea boat race garden. And so it was to celebrate, I think it was the 175th anniversary of the boat race. And we used a lot of blue, light blue and dark blue irises. Light iris, laevigata, Weymouth and Dorothy, somebody, forgotten the name. The previous owner, I gave her some to put round, so these must be the iris. But we had huge problem finding them, locating them, and getting the right blues for the light blue and the dark blue for Oxford and Cambridge boat colours. And it's lovely to see them. They've seriously grown well, haven't they? They really have.
They really have. They, even in the last couple of years, I've noticed how many more we have.
Yes.
And it's always the excitement of seeing them growing each. I think it's about May, isn't it, when they come up?
End of Chelsea.
So, yeah, end
We
of
were
Chelsea.
keeping our fingers crossed that they would all be in flower. So then,
but then they're gone so quickly.
Irises
so
are very ephemeral,
yeah,
aren't they? Yes.
Yeah.
I also remember because we had them as a serpentine in a rill going up the sort of that surrounded the whole of the boat race garden. We had to get them growing in a metal container because they're just marginals, aren't they? And the whole rill was too deep, so we elevated this serpentine container down the rill, and they did look spectacular. I have to say, they were really lovely. And the other thing I remember about this was because the water level dropped, and the client said, "Oh, I think there's a leak," and it taught me how to find out if your pool is leaking or not. So what we did is we measured it, we put a mark on, we measured how long it took for the water level to drop, and then you can calculate with the surface or area of the water how much it should drop on a normal sunny
Okay.
windy day. And it wasn't, it was just evaporation.
Okay, yeah.
It can be a lot.
The
yes.
end of the summer, it's really, I've never seen it so low actually.
No, so we would normally be topping it up
yeah.
just to keep the levels up, and maybe removing some of the submersible weed because there's a
Yeah.
lot of it there,
Yes,
isn't it?
there
Yes.
certainly is.
So that would just with a rake and bring it to one side, and then all the creepy crawlers can crawl back in, the newts and frogs and things.
That's a very good idea. Needs a little bit of weeding. We need to get we have a ladder that we
Oh, planks. We do a plank.
Walking
I
the plank,
crawl
yeah.
along, yes.
Yeah.
And every so often you think you're going to go in, yes.
Yeah.
But have water, the wildlife and things. You've got lots
Oh.
of willow herb growing in amongst it as well, haven't you? Which is nice.
Which is
the willow herb is you can see the pinky flower,
Oh,
and then this is a weed. There's a white willow herb, which doesn't set seed, and it just spreads along the ground. And I remember specifying a white willow herb in Japan for a garden there, but they said no, it's utterly banned, white willow herb in Japan, because it's so invasive.
Oh really? Ooh, okay.
But in England it's not, it's
Okay.
one of these things. But this summer I've had more willow herb weed in my garden than any other plant in my veg and everywhere, so I've been
gosh.
on it and pulling it out.
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
have to
see
say it
it.
looks quite pretty here.
Yeah, it does look
Doesn't
quite
it?
pretty, but maybe that's a job to do at the weekend.
Yeah.
Take it out. Maybe that's the one that's in the middle, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Yes, it does look pretty like
Yeah,
that as
but
well,
there's
doesn't
some
it?
beautiful water lilies.
Yes, really nice.
They're incredible.
Mm.
Really incredible.
They are. They don't like moving water too much, do they? And I remember every so often at Stapleford Park we took a lot of water lilies from there because they just get so full, and you have to go in, lift them out in the spring and chop them up, and because they will just take over the whole thing eventually.
So do we
Yeah.
need to start taking a few of the lily pads out?
I probably I see you've got a little one here. It hasn't done nearly so well, has
No,
it? So
no.
I think it depends what you like really. But if you lift the level of the water, I would pull out maybe 50% of this submersible because it's just gone mad, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And then I probably would lift most of these out, chop them up with a spade, and put maybe a third back in, and maybe distribute them a bit more evenly.
Okay.
It's quite a nice job actually. It sounds ghastly, but it's in with your bare feet.
Get my wellies on.
Yes. I seem to remember we put an underlay under the EPDM liner, which is like the equivalent of butyl, but that's what it normally is, EPDM, which is a nice fat thick liner, and then we put an underlay over the top, which just helps protect if for dogs or deer or whatever might get in there and cause a leak. It's quite a good thing to do, to put the overlay over the top. It looks whitey grey when you fill it, but you soon lose it. The view over there is lovely, so you can see the medieval village just through the gate, and that's your sundowner spot.
It
When you
is.
get the evening
It certainly
sunshine.
is. It's a beautiful spot, and we sort of overlook. Well, the sun is setting just over the church,
Yes.
so it's lovely, just sitting over there, escaping
Yes.
from the office.
And those are your chairs,
They
one of
are.
your range.
They are. There are new Cottesmore chairs,
Yes.
and yeah, they're very comfy, and I think they're quite substantial and quite striking.
And you designed those?
Yes, we did.
It's lovely. They look really nice. Another of your products, this is a bit like some of these sales pictures, but I have to say, I think this is beautiful. So you designed it.
Thank you, Bunny. Yes, this is one of our, this is our new bistro set, which we love because you can put it in any part of a garden, a large garden, small garden.
Yes.
And another great, it's a little breakfast setting here, coffee or another sundowner spot.
And it would go with a very modern house or an
Yeah.
old house. It
Yeah.
just fit in with anything. And do you do it in different colours?
No, it's just in this one grey, which I kind of think it sort of suits
Everything.
Yeah.
French, sort of French grey, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's good weight, isn't it?
Yes,
It's not going
it
to blow
is.
away. And a
It
big
is.
man would sitting on that chair wouldn't throw it over.
No,
It
absolutely.
holds
Yes,
his weight
these are
easily.
very sturdy.
Yeah.
Indeed. But they're elegant as well as being, strong and sturdy.
Yeah, no, very nice indeed. Beautiful little porch, isn't it?
It's very pretty. Very, very pretty. So this used to be the front door actually to this part of the house.
So the road would have come in this way?
Yes,
do you
yeah, it
think?
used to come in this way, and you can see how well used the front door step
yes, the
is.
threshold step.
Yeah.
It's totally worn away
Yeah.
from hundreds of years. So, but it's probably, was that part 15th century?
You can see
that
the
is
difference.
more modern,
so
yeah.
that's more modern.
Yeah.
That's the
Older
15th
bit.
century, and then this is the more modern, but it's still quite old.
And the hydrangeas looking fantastic. This is another of your designs.
It is Bunny. This is one of our new benches, outdoor benches, called the Hokum bench. And it's also, you can use it outside or inside, in a hallway or even at a table. So it's very diverse,
Yeah.
which is very handy. And it comes with this lovely seat. And I just think it looks, can't beat this bees linen
Yes.
cushion with the fray edging.
And here's the bigger bee as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And is that still your favourite fabric?
Do you know what I think it is? It's such a neutral, and it goes with so many of our designs. I love mixing designs, so you don't have all the same. You're sort of mixing it up a bit. But it's, well, the bee. We love the bumblebee.
So this is your back door, which everyone uses as your front door pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful building, it's a wonderful front courtyard, and this amazing tree here. I wonder how old that is. Has anybody ever said?
No, I would love to find out how old it is. It's quite incredible, isn't it? You almost get a bit dizzy when you look.
Yeah,
when you look
it's
up.
so high. It's staggering, isn't it? And we put in, I think, the bleached lime
Yes,
years
yeah.
ago. Yes.
Yes.
Just to slightly separate off the other buildings.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
works quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean it's huge. Those lime trees are massive. I guess they look quite small compared to the Wellingtonia tree,
A scale, isn't it? It's all a
Yeah,
question of scale, but
it
they are
is.
probably 4 metres, and the
Yeah.
Wellingtonian is probably 100 foot. Is it?
Yeah,
So it's a
yeah,
bit
it
of
probably
difference.
is.
It's lovely to see everything you've done here.
Well,
I
and
just
it's
think
lovely to sit here in the
Yeah.
evening. Again, you get the evening sun here, so you can just have. Well, it's
Yeah.
another sundowner spot to getting a sort of a
Do you
vibe
ever
here.
do any work, Sophie? I do know that is not, you do work frenetically
Well,
hard, but
I
it's
think,
lovely to have these outside
Yeah,
spaces.
all work
If-
and no play, Bunny.
Absolutely, absolutely not a good thing.
No.
Anyway, thank you very much indeed.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.